What's up, guys? It's Flash back with some more charts, another video. It's Friday, May 30th, about 4:31 p.m. Eastern. Markets just closed about 30 minutes ago. I want to get a quick video out to you guys before the weekend starts. Just let you know what I'm seeing in Bitcoin and MicroStrategy, or strategy rather, and just give you my perspective. So it's going to be a shorter video. Just the focus today is, some of the overlays with Bitcoin and MSTR measured in Bitcoin. So let's just jump right in. So this is Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Not going to go through the rainbow indicator or power law talk track today, but this is M2 overlaid with orange, and I updated the script per Colin Talks Crypto. He was able to get an average here for all of the correlations, right? And this is a 95-day offset. So the average of all of these 30, 60, 90, 1 year, 2 year, that's 85.7%. I also went ahead and added a short-term average, so the 30 to 90 day average. And so, 30, 60, 90, 84, 93, 95 averages about to 87.8%. So that's something I may consider doing moving forward, is just taking the average of the 30, 60, 90 days, because I think that'll give us maybe that best overlay for the short-term price action, right? Not going to be a perfect match one for one, but I think it's a fun exercise. So, depends how you overlay it. You can make it look better. You can make it look worse, whatever it is. I do think there's a big surge in liquidity coming, maybe as soon as next week. I'm not sure, right? So I would just expect that there's likely going to be some news, right? Some sort of news that's going to drive this price action, drive Bitcoin higher, potentially MSTR higher as well. But in my opinion, at the end of the day, this is just the liquidity conditions from about 90 days ago. So whatever the news is, take it with a grain of salt. It's just kind of explaining, the price action, the liquidity price action from 90 days ago. But I think this overlay kind of tells us what lies ahead, right? So I like to ignore the news personally. But here's Bitcoin. And then instead of the global M2, here's the price of gold. And you'll notice it's actually a stronger correlation. We have a short-term average of about 94.2% following gold. This is following gold more than it is M2 right now. But as I've said before, gold sniffs out these liquidity conditions in real time, right? So if you push gold forward by about 90 days, you're going to get a similar look and feel to global M2. Not always the case, but when they line up, I think that means things are lining up, right? So this looks really good. We're having this little slight dip here. It's exactly kind of what I said. I think we could maybe dip down to maybe 100K, 101, 102, maybe a little bit lower. I'm not 100% sure. But then I think, like I said, there's a surge in liquidity coming, and then a bigger surge, right? And so then it kind of takes a pause here, maybe July, August, September. We're going to see if that continues. If we go back to M2, looks like the M2 wants to continue a little bit. And then gold is actually making a lower high here. So you have M2 making a higher high, gold making a lower high. I'm not sure what to make of that yet, but I think it's worth pointing out. All right, now we overlay both of them. I mean, it just looks really, really good, guys. I don't think there's anything to be concerned with here. Okay, now let's look at MSTR. This is a 62-day offset. I went through this and found this to be kind of that highest short-term average. And you can see it's deviated, right? It's not following along tick for tack, day for day. But again, when liquidity is going up, I would expect risk assets like MSTR, like Tesla, like Metaplanet, like anything that is, maybe considered a little bit risky for the typical investor, right? So I am expecting MSTR to follow suit here. So we can also overlay gold, as I usually do. Has a little bit of a stronger correlation, similar to Bitcoin. Slight dip here, yes, and then more liquidity is coming. If we put both on, man, this is that low. I'm pretty sure this is the low. All right, so let's zoom into MSTR. This is on the 30-minute. I tweeted out a very similar image to this, but you kind of have this wedge, right? And so if we go back here, we zoom in on this low. I think, we want to be looking for a bottom, some sort of bottoming price action. And I think that's what we have here with MSTR. No guarantees, right? But this looks like it could be a potential bottom. Probably still has some work to do, but this looks like a falling wedge, and it's trying to break out, it looks like, on the 30-minute. And this was it was a strong close. You can see it kind of faltered towards the end of the day today, Friday. And then got a really strong bounce in like the last 10 minutes of trading with some good volume, right? So, like I said, there could be some news that comes out. Whoa, but I think it's just liquidity, right? So that looks really good. And then another kind of look and feel to that wedge. And I also pulled up this indicator, right? This is on the 4 hour. So again, there are some pretty good resistance lines here on, again, this is the distance percentage from the moving average, right? So the moving average isn't displayed on the screen, but you still get the sense, like, again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but this looks like a beach ball being held underwater. This looks like it could, we could have maybe one more low, I'm not sure, but we want to see this blue line make its way through these resistances, and I think that will break out above that moving average, right? It's like a consolidation pattern with the moving average. So it's kind of hard to explain, but it's the best I can right now. And then we have MSTR measured in Bitcoin, right? So I moved this yellow arc, I moved it out slightly, right? I had a feeling there was going to be a low here somewhere, and I'm hoping this is a low, right? But this bull is just so symmetrical, and I just moved it out slightly to capture this price action. You can see we held these orange trend lines so far, right? Still have some work to do, and this is on the 12 hour. But we pull up this final image here, and we have, again, this indicator, distance percentage from the moving average. So right now we're about, probably call it 7% below the moving average. And again, it's not present on the screen, but you can see here we are breaking out. This is on the 12 hour too, which is a bigger time frame, and I think it's more meaningful. So with all that being said, I think MSTR is set to outperform Bitcoin, right? From here on out for the foreseeable future, call it the next month or so, right? It's not going to be a straight shot. There's going to be bumps on the road, but if we go back to Bitcoin, and if we're going to make these moves with liquidity, right, and MSTR is breaking out against Bitcoin, I think that says some pretty good things for MSTR. So guys, again, quick video today, but I'm calling it. I think this is the bottom. I want to say it's the bottom. I don't know for sure, but everything's pointing to yes. I think we made it through the hard part of this little correction, and we're going to be going higher. So drop me a like if you guys found this helpful. You guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you all next week. Take it easy.